Hello and welcome to the second episode of the podcast Nuanced. I'm Namrata Joshi and today I shall focus on Natesh Hegde's second feature film, Tiger's Pond, that had its world premiere in the Forum section of Berlinale on February 15th. Like his debut film Pedro, Tiger's Pond is set in a seemingly idyllic Karnataka hamlet, but one which is actually far from perfect. The slice of village life reveals how it is plagued with feudalism and patriarchy, caste hierarchies, and power play. The male order is exploitative of both men and women alike. Achyut Kumar plays businessman Prabhu, ruthless in his pursuit of victory in the local elections, with the phenomenal Dilish Pothan as his unquestioning lackey Malabari. Natesh himself has a key role as Prabhu's brother, as does his father Gopal Hegde as the underprivileged Basu, the symbol of resistance and subversion, the one who puts up a fight against Prabhu's autocracy. The brutality coalesces in the most horrifying way around the figure of the mute but innocent shepherdess Pati. Tiger's Pond has been produced by Natesh with Anurag Kashyap and Ranjan Singh, and Jeremy Chua is its co producer. I spoke to Anurag, Ranjan, and Natesh hours before their flight to Berlin. A conversation on the making of the film and their collaboration turned out to be as much about South cinema, Upendra, Rifle Club, the new crop of indie filmmakers, and the sweet bromance among the three of them. Here on to know more. So the first film, Pedro, was something which you had witnessed, something you had kind of seen around you. Uh, and the second one is a literary text, this one, that you've drawn from. But how much was it that you related to it? I mean, did you somewhere along the line also have witnessed such a similar thing happening around you?
Yes, though it's a adaptation, I just took the inspiration, like the character of Pati. So it's a initial story of Amaresh Nuguduni. So in his
Mm-hmm.
story, this character was there, and also
Okay.
I have seen this. So when I was going to the college, so
Uh-huh.
this kind of girl used to stay in the bus stop. After some time, I could see her belly is little bulged, and after some times she disappeared. So where did she go? Was the question? What happened to her? So it was there in my mind. Then when I read this story, so this character really shook me, and then I rewrote the story, like a lot of this gambling thing and the tiger god, the whole setup of it. So I wrote it.
Another departure, I'm told, is that you are kind of, from, you've done this in 16 is it?
Yeah.
Why? What was the reason for that?
Because the whole practice of shooting it on film stock is, it's very precise, and also I wanted to have the quality of, the we discovered this film from somewhere, that rough edges was what I was looking.
What about Pedro? Pedro was shot digitally, was it?
Yes, and
Okay.
we didn't had the courage to ask for money.
But 16 calls for its own discipline, right?
Yes, for
Any
petrol.
film footage,
Sorry.
Sorry.
anything shot on film calls for a discipline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I meant when I said that 16 Yeah, yeah.
16 even more discipline
Yeah.
in today's
Mm-hmm.
day and age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Uh,
also, like, we don't practice this coverage kind of shooting, shooting a scene in 76 angles. So, so
Mhm.
it was easier.
so it was a kind of a additional challenge that you volitionally kind of imposed on yourself, right?
Not at all. Like, for initial 2 days, we treated it, it's very sacred, Then again, it's a camera.
And where did you shoot it? The first film was shot in your own village, right?
This is also.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the thing with all the Shetty filmmakers in Karnataka. All their films are
But
shot in their own respective villages. The primary producer who helped him make the film, Rishabh Shetty, also shoots his film in Kundapur, in his own village. All the villages
Mhm.
are supposed to act in the film, is compulsory, and and everybody's supposed to do it pro bono. That's also compulsory. They have,
Mhm.
which is a lesson for filmmakers like all of us. You know, the way to make films.
Your south
Yeah.
kind of south side kind of drive is moving into all these zones as well, not just acting in South films, but learning many other things as well from them.
Hey, journey. No, no, I have always loved. I have always been drawn to South films more than Hindi film.
That
It's
is
been
true.
a
From
very long.
right from Subramaniapuram, I think, which I
No,
got
no, even before
introduced
it,
to.
it actually started from Ram Gopal Verma, Mani Ratnam, Shankar, all those people. It's like way back. But
Upendra.
now, then, Upendra. Is Ramu at no? Now I know the name of the film because I gave an interview. And I was reminded by Ramu what film he was shooting at that time. He was shooting a film called Prem Katha with Sumant. And in that
Mhm.
village where he showed me Upendra's second film. A was second, no, Om was first. A was second. No, Om
Yeah.
was second. Uh,
No, Sh was first, then he did A.
uh, and
Yeah.
then Om.
Then Om, then Upendra. No,
So I saw Om.
Om was before
So
A.
I saw A first and then I saw Om. Sorry, Ulta. Yeah, correct. And
Hmm. No,
the restarted journey started with Natesh Hegde. Natesh Hegde met me in Busan first, no?
Ah, yeah.
Uh, After that, we've been non-stop been meeting. We have been co-actors in Rifle
yeah,
Club.
I can see the love that you have for each other on Instagram.
Now, more than that, you have to see Natesh in also one film I've done. He's acted in that film too.
Ah, really?
And he's a
This is,
he's a terrific actor. You'll see more of it. Abhi, right now
and
he's
it
directing
runs,
himself or
and
being
it
directed by
runs,
me. But
and it
behind the
runs in
scenes
the
being directed by
family,
others. Huh?
and it runs in the family, like father, like son.
He's my new adopted son.
No, no, I'm talking about his own father, right?
His father, yeah, Pedro, yes. वो
Yeah.
तो Natesh will get anybody to do anything. That is, you can rest, be assured.
Mhm.
I love him because I know he'll never stop making films. He'll never disassociate from cinema. Whatever may come, he will find a way to do it. He's amazing that way.
But since you brought up the whole thing about the producer, what made you kind of get onto this film? And I just wanted some clarity also in terms of Rishabh's involvement, and then how did you come into the picture? Because last I remember reading about it when it was in Busan, I think it was Rishabh on board. So how did the whole thing
I,
change?
Ranjan and me joined the film in the post-production stage. So the film was started by Rishabh only. All the shooting happened because of Rishabh. And Rishabh has also got involved. See, because most of these independent films, if you look at all the independent films, a lot of people come together to somehow finish a film. Many of films, you will see people keep coming in at one stage or the other to help finish the filmmaker cross that stage.
Mhm.
So we came in, and Natesh and me, we have lots of plans to do things together. And in that, there was this film that had finished shooting, that was the editing, what in the post-production stage, and was in need of more funds to cross that stage. And we do that. Natesh came and acted in my film. We never once talked money.
So
He
this
never
is the
did ask for
one.
anything. He just
So
came
this
and
is
he
the
just jumped in.
upcoming. This is the upcoming film. This
This
is
is
your
the
upcoming.
this is my upcoming film, and but that's we are not talking about that right now. Right now we are talking about Tiger Spot. But the thing is, there's also a lot upcoming. There many more things that I intend to do with Natesh because he not just has a perspective point of view. He's also one of my new bounce boards. So it's things that happen organically.
So
I
it's a
don't know when
two-way
they can.
process. It's a two-way process. He also guides you in your filmmaking, is it?
He does. I can. He's
You
younger to
don't.
me. He's much younger to me. I can also push him and bully him sometimes. But the thing is, when did he come into my life and when did he make space in my life and my house has become his house and everything? We don't know this, but it is now the truth.
Mhm. Where is Ranjan? Ranjan, I wanted you also to step in and tell a bit
He
about.
is the biggest father figure behind all of us.
Where is he? I can't
If you
see
look
him.
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
us, you
Now,
will see him. See, you look behind us, you will
Yeah.
see him.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me what did you like about the film so much?
oh, see, I mean, it's of course an interesting story, and like Anurag said, I saw the offline cut, um, and it was very intriguing. It's like that whole folk tale, which I've heard. It had so much warmth. What Natesh was saying, I think one of the things 16 does is get that warm fuzzy thing. The texture is
No.
so good. It was such a different film. And I actually met Natesh last year only when he was shooting for AK's film. Uh, and yeah, I mean, what I saw, I liked. And then if there, see, in terms of collaboration, it's nothing new. Like even at Phantom or even before, we have been doing a lot of collabs. Like Hunter had come to us in a similar stage where it was offline. You know, so that way the collab or the partnership wasn't an issue. We just liked it and we wanted to finish it and take it ahead. So it's just that much.
But like Anurag pointed out that it kind of helps the indie films at various stages. I was kind of also noticing how that other Berlin film Bakshobandi
Shadow
also
box,
has
yeah.
so many.
Yeah,
Shadowbox
it's the
also,
same thing.
it's
You see good person,
including,
good material.
yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
comes on board,
yeah,
contributes something. We did that with Pokhar ke Dono Par. When the
yeah,
film
yeah.
Pokhar ke Dono Par had reached a stage, needed post-production support, needed a certain amount of money, and there were mails being sent to filmmakers, and we all got together. Me, Motwani, Sriram Raghavan, Sanjay Rautre, we all kind of came in to support the film. I'm saying, because we were in that place once upon a time. We
Hmm.
all know what it means. And when you can't do that for everyone, when you see the passion of a filmmaker,
Hmm.
when you see the filmmaker, the passion with which they drive it, like, say, for example, when Natesh started making the film, he doesn't have a clue कि कब कहाँ खत्म हो रहा है. He's getting an opportunity, he's making the most use of this and doing his best. And he doesn't have a problem going out and using whatever resources have. He went out and he got Dilesh Pothan to, who's a Malayalam actor, to do a film like this, learn the language. He has the patience to sit out through everything. I don't have the patience to sit with me. I don't have Natesh's capacity. Natesh has a lot of capacity. He gets things together. He connects. He also connects. So I love him because it's also not just his passion, plus his honesty, his integrity, and he will do the same for anybody in whatever capacity. So that's
And
the
it
thing that drives
See,
us forward.
I'll also add something. This I feel also is the right way to make a lot more indie films. Because what happens is if there's just one or two producers, now, then it puts a lot of pressure, not in terms of just funds, but in terms of work. Now if there are like you said, Shadowbox Vikram told me there are some 17 producers. I
yeah.
think All We Imagine had so many, right? And Masan had 10. So what also happens is you can divide a lot of work, right? Works for me the best this way is I can do far more films, when there are more collaborators. And similarly, even on all our shots, I make sure that there are two, three more people. So the risk is also amortized, among two, three people. Work gets divided, and you can tell far more stories faster.
And everybody
So
plays to their strength because हम लोग ये film बना के ना, Ranjan has the experience of how to distribute, how to market, how to do things. So what happens is we just sit here, we know, we let Ranjan decide what our role should be. So that's also another ease with him being behind it all.
Mhm.
yeah, like
Uh,
basically you can do far more stories there. That's very and yeah, we are not those people like you make films for your name to come there. No, like created by. We are not those guys. So we just want to tell more and more stories. It works the best for us now.
Yeah, create an atmosphere, like, more filmmakers come in, more things they do.
Yeah.
And it's
So
inspiring how Natesh has made this film. See, it is also, no, say for example, I am at a stage where, हाँ ठीक है, फिल्म बनाने को मिल जाता है इजिली, कहीं कहीं हम भूल, sometimes we forget why, how we used to make films. Suddenly we are dealing with newer problems, but we have forgotten how we used to make films when we didn't
yeah.
have any problem. Not these kind of problems. Under whatever circumstances, we'll go and finish our film. So when Natesh comes in And we realize that this is how we used to be, and why have why we not doing it again? So it's again serves as an inspiration. So Natesh also reverse inspires us,
Mhm,
and he's
mhm.
funny.
अरे रंजन, हम अनुराग से जूम पे ही बात करेंगे, अच्छा बात सुनने को मिलेगा.
Ah, yes, controlled, organized, structured, everything is, logical.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen offline, is it?
No, no, no.
Offline.
Offline
I'll,
of
I'll,
Natesh.
I'll, I'll, I'll say, as Anurag discovers his film in the lineup, we discover the meaning in the lots of word cloud. That's how it is.
Anurag talked about Dileesh Pothan, and I'm going to just kind of again go back to the film itself, Natesh, the casting part of it. I again see the remnants of Pedro here as well. Is it a mix of the local and the professional here as well?
Yeah, but seriously, I don't make that bifurcation. Like everyone
Okay.
who is in front of camera is an actor. You know, the method is different. In that way, I felt more comfortable with non-professionals. They are coming with no baggage. You know, you just have, like, they are doing the exact what the word act means. You know, so that's much more easier for me.
Mhm. So, but some of the characters. I mean, Dileesh is fabulous. I love the character that was played by Achyut. He's also amazing. What about Pati, the girl? I wanted to know more about her.
She's from my village, the
Okay.
girl. Yeah. Uh, but she had some, difficulty in learning. So she had some issues. But she can understand what we are saying and she can talk. But if we can say we are normal, then she's little different from us. But
But how did you convince her? I mean, you would have had to take permissions from people to have her in that role. I mean, I was intrigued about that aspect of it.
yes, I we spoke to her family. The
Mhm.
thing happened is we were looking for actors to play this role, and after some time we realized that's not possible. And I really hate how actors act disabilities. So then,
Mhm.
when we are going for recce, all the ADs in my cars stopped the car and said, "Pati is here." So we were in front of her house. Then I realized, so then again I have to go to her, and I went to her family and spoke about the story and everything. So convinced her, and they asked if she is agreeing, then you can do it. They asked her, and she said, "I will do this film." Like she never been to any film set, or she don't know what film is, but she said, I'll go with my. She knows my father. I'll go with son of Gopal Hegde. So then there was a car dedicated to her. Like, she used to sit in my car only. She had her own seat, and she enjoyed shooting. And
Mhm.
like with my father, I explained the same way to her. You know, S- we know certain kind of acting, like characterization, this and that. But these people operate in very different way. Like they're not, thinking about backstory, this and that. They just behave that way. Like when you say you're angry, in their capacity, they understand the situation and they act. So
Okay.
that
So the
way,
in the moment kind of a spot that they are in,
yeah.
right?
And also I had to, construct the whole film around her. Her attention span is something like 15 second. Then the length of the shot becomes 15 second. Around that you have to build the whole film.
Mhm. Again, the quietude, the kind of time, the way you work with the notion of time and how gradually and ominously you build up things. Anurag, it's very different from your filmmaking
Absolutely,
style.
total opposite. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah. So, I'd like to know a bit more about this. The element of time in your films, both in Pedro and in this film, Natesh, is fantastic.
So that's coming from my experience in my village. When a person waits for bus for 15 minutes, I have seen that life. I have seen long roads without any vehicles. I have climbed mountains and I know how much time it takes. So the sense of time is coming from there. So he sees different life. All in his films there is a narrative ambition of a mythology.
Mhm.
He has seen that kind of life. I don't have that. So my stories are fable like.
Yeah,
See, now
absolutely.
I understood why you seem like you have all the time and I don't have any time.
It reflects in your personalities also.
Yeah.
Anurag, you have
Natesh
a
can go
very
on. Now. Sometimes I have to literally. Natesh, when he comes to Bombay, he lives in my house. He has endless time to talk and have conversation. At one point, I say, I'm going in. I have to lock myself in the room. And Natesh will be knocking. I says, come now, let's sit. One last drink, one last conversation. Go, sleep. It's the same thing.
but certain things in terms of the themes that Natesh is kind of looking at,
It comes
I
from him. It's like I discover him more. Say, for example, like right now when you were talking, I till now I had no idea that there was some inspiration from some book already previously written material as well. So
yeah.
for me, you see his films more. I saw Pedro, and that's when I discovered him. I did not know it was his father. Then I found out it was his father, and then I found out his equation with his father. So his film is not just making a film; it's also a very personal thing for him. So no, it's like, and he is in that space because which I find incredibly beautiful. So in the process of the film, he is also resolving some things for himself. It is. I do it in my way. He does it in his way. He's coming from altogether a different space. Like when he's saying that he seen a long road waiting. I saw probably have also seen it, but I was very young and I have never used it in my films. My conscious mind starts from cinema. His conscious mind starts from the world around him.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. And also and I'm seeing it in a continuum because I saw Pedro, I really loved it, and I was very curious to see where what trajectory Natesh is going to follow. So for me it's kind of, I'm seeing it in terms of the continuations and departures. His team seems to be the crew seems to be the same. Vikas is there, Paresh is there. Uh, 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 you know, uh, I like the growth of his dad as an actor, and the kind of persona he has, and how Natasha has used him in Pedro and how he is used in here. That element of resistance in him is quite remarkable in this film. You know. Natesh, I wanted to kind of make you dwell a bit more on that. Is it that you find comfort in kind of going with these collaborators of yours?
Yes, because you don't have to explain everything. In life also we seek that kind of relations, right? We don't have to explain everything. That's the same way with film also. With my father, like it was very different equation we had, and then it like it flipped. He became my son, you know. And now, I have to buy him clothes, otherwise he don't buy new clothes. It's just I
Uh-huh.
have to tell him like you have to act in this film. Then he acts. He got some ad film requests and many other language, but he's not interested. He says if it's your film, then I'll do.
Mhm, mhm. In terms of the space that you are in, the rural fabulous landscape that you are in, there has all sometimes been this tendency, at least in Bollywood, which now no longer, thankfully, we have gotten out of that trap where we idealize the rural space as opposed to the urban space. It used to happen a lot in the 50s films, whereas in your case, the element of feudalism that you're looking at, element of oppression that you're looking at, uh, that is again a continuum from where Pedro left and this starts off. And I find that element even in Anurag cinema, that whole exploitative kind of foundation on which feudalism works. Uh, any thoughts on that?
What I realized is we both hate hypocrisy. You know,
Oh.
that's there in our film, be it
Um,
feudalism or anything.
and Natesh's and unravels and explores literally from where he comes from and his personality. I also, it is like, there's more. If you say, if I compare what I do with Natesh has ease, more ease as compared to me. But if you compare me with somebody mainstream here, it will feel like I have more ease as compared to them. They are in more rush. So that sense of time kind of keeps changing. So I get more drawn to Natesh, or I get more drawn to a lot of these young new filmmakers also from South and things who are literally doing what they want to do and doing it within their own space, within their given circumstances, and exploring and speaking the unspeakable and all those kind of a things in their own way. For me, where I am at, if I do the same thing, it will be called taking a risk. Because what happens is you reach a point where you feel like if you do this, then you lose that, right? So it's taking, and for somebody else who's more mainstream, it will be taking like gambling. Taking a risk. Somebody's gambling. So I'm saying it keeps changing exponentially. Like if I go back in time, and plus where my influences are, like even I would say my least of film that is still trying to keep somehow one leg in mainstream and one leg being myself is something like say Black Friday. Still the pacing of the film, still use of like music of Indian Ocean, still use of elements like that were also informed by my cinephilia. So what happens is I'm informed by my cinephilia, but I'm borrowing from what happened around it. But the execution is informed by me being a cinephile and me being things. Whereas Natesh's most of the two films so far and what he's also developing further is coming from what he has seen around, and he has seen a story worth telling in that and cinema worth telling in that, and then he'll come across a story that resonated with what is in his head, and then he finds a way to put it on the screen. So I'm saying there's a difference there. And it is also the cinephilia that makes me want to see Natesh more because I'm increasingly frustrated by the world that I am making films in. And my frustration has reached a point of very low tolerance for something that really sounds just wannabe and trying to be something that is so far out there that it doesn't belong anywhere. So when I get a sense of space and place and time when I'm watching Natesh's film, like some of the independent films that I see, or like say when Ranjan keeps bringing in these extremely new young filmmakers, it's like Ranjan right now is literally, if you go to young filmmakers wanting to break into movies, wanting to make short films, wanting to, first person they reach out is to Ranjan. He has literally a bibliography of like lots of young first time filmmakers who all are hounding and Ranjan like, how can I do so much? Like everybody coming to me. But he picks out, hand picks them out, and he knows what can go where, and he knows exactly his years of experience with distribution, with cinema and everything. He's so well informed because in these discussions, I don't even get him there. I just let him tell me what to do. So those short films that he produces, and each short film is different from each other. And it's the voice of the filmmaker. So the more I see and more I show, I'm like, okay, fine. Recently produced a short film, a filmmaker. I got into it because Ranjan believes in it. I like the people and all that. But I have known those people because when the first time 14, 15 years ago, when they came to Bombay, they came to me and they worked with me on Gangs of Wasipur. But I did not see in them what Ranjan saw in them because of familiarity. For
Mhm.
15 years, I know he's what he's good at. But I never questioned him or asked him like, तू फिल्म बनाना चाहेगा क्या या तेरे अंदर फिल्म बनाने लायक कुछ है कि नहीं. So somebody else can see it. So what happens is I also my ability to see that 25 years ago has kind of dissipated. But I know who are the people who have that ability to see. So if I'm with them, I will stay informed.
So Ranjan has it.
Ranjan has
He's
this.
y-
He's
he's
very
your
objective.
he's your
Father
eyes
figure.
and
His
ears.
eyes, yes, everything. No, but he also has that objectivity. So
Yeah.
in the sense, it's not like we don't argue or anything, but I know to listen to him. So even if we argue and I defend myself, I know what he says stays with me.
But
So
tell
those
me,
things are.
this new crop of filmmakers, and this is to both you and Ranjan. Since you've been supporting filmmakers over the years, how does this new crop compare?
You know what? I always look at new and future. So the thing is, the new crop will always tell you, will keep you updated. The new crop will keep you updated. I'm not going, I will be stupid if I say नटेश को मैं सीधा माइकल हैनेके से कंपेयर करता हूँ या उससे पहले जाते पहले नहीं से कंपेयर कर नहीं नटेश हेगड़े is नटेश हेगड़े. He is being honest to his word. And the thing is, we have now, without trying to be, somehow I see, personally, I'll say for myself, by being given this extra unnecessary attention that I keep getting and constantly wanting to avoid it, you don't realize that you somehow make a bubble around yourself to protect yourself or to protect your time. So what happens is when you stay in there, you stop looking. It's not like pehle I used to travel so much. I used to go look. In search of a film, I know I've traveled kilometers, I've traveled hours, I've traveled countries just to watch a film or to catch a film. I don't do that anymore because the film comes to me now. But that journey that you take keeps you informed. Now I'm not taking those journeys. So my information comes through filmmakers. They bring it somehow. And it's not like that Ranjan ने आज बोला तो मैं आज ही film देख लूंगा. He doesn't let it go. He's incessantly after me. वो film देखी क्या? वो film देखी क्या? वो script पढ़ी क्या? मैं कहा यार मैं काम कर रहा हूँ time नहीं. इसे जब भी time होगा he'll find out from my team and think when is Anurag free? And then suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm free. Let me sit down and Ranjan का message आएगा. Listen, you have time. Can you watch this film? That's how it's like. It works in synergy. It's not like individually anyone is doing anything. And plus, what happens is in today's day and time, everybody looks at a movie like, okay, if I get part of this movie, what am I getting from it? Which I'm not looking for. For me, the benefits are not monetary at all. I'm not even looking at them. And what I'm looking at is like, okay, if I am supporting Natesh because I believe in it, it gives me enough power to support the next filmmaker and the next filmmaker. And it is also not just that. Natesh also does many things. Like Natesh coming and say, for example, acting in my film without questioning what film it is, what am I trying to do, acting in it, seeing the edit, watching it. Let's if like me and Natesh and Senna, we went and worked in Rifle Club together. That was one way we were acting, but on the other side, we got a long opportunity to hang out with each other the long time and discussing and finding out what's happening. It was also fun in another way. So it's a constantly also being amongst people that really enrich you. And I thought also get away because I literally think that I'm the most senior of them all. Sometimes I can bully my way out as well. But the thing is, There's a constant enrichment. And then it's also beautiful to just participate. Otherwise, this whole other rest of the film industry that I'm in this, not in the middle, somewhere in there, is very frustrating. It tires you out.
So Natesh kind of, and the people like him offer you that window that makes you breathe.
Natesh entertains too much. Like after that, I have to be like, okay, stop entertaining.
Ranjan, do you have to add anything to this about the young filmmaker?
See, yeah. So, like your original question, how are they different or anything? I think they are definitely. So, it's about 2 decades now. So, I think this definitely they are well informed. I have seen, and again, and nothing new. Like I've seen Anurag and Vikram do this over the years, right? I find myself fortunate that I took a call. I left the corporate, left this, and came into production. And I learned this only, like you need to protect some voices, you need to encourage some voices. But yeah, these days these guys are very, very well informed, not just filmmaking, the other things which come with it, like the journey. It makes quite like my job at least a lot easier at times. See, I'll tell you, it's I don't know what I'm saying or comparing, but shorts, like everybody runs away from shorts, and maybe because there's not a clear economic model in India. Correct. I have produced some 16 shorts till now. Overall, I can easily say that the money that went into those films has been recovered. Might not piece by piece, but overall is what I'm talking. And every day you are learning new things, and now you realize that you can exploit them so much better. You have to just learn new things every day. Like this last short that Anurag was talking about, it premiered at Clermont Ferrand, and now suddenly we are getting offers from Japan, from Cine Shot, and then you realize, oh wow, it's so easy. All you have to do is work some more. Like your $200 per week can come from here. Some money comes from Japan. Some money. It's just opening your perspective. So one, there's so much to learn, from these guys, and they are definitely getting better by the time. And probably, I'm sure the reasons are simple, social. There's internet now. There's everything. There's more information available. You need to just back them, and I think so that's the difference. Otherwise, I think the passion and the filmmaking thing is the same. Yeah, like you see, all those guys are now directors. Anurag, Vikram, that time supported Vasan, Neeraj, Shazia, now her film. Everyone is making films, and they are not just making films for us. They are making films for studios, bigger producers, and everyone. So I think overall, in the end, it's the same thing in a way. However, I think that you're more better equipped, and with experience, I can say that we are better at it now. So you can do more and probably get better results. So that's the difference. Otherwise, core it's the same. I think.
Would you
Now,
one very incredible story about when he's talking about the core. It's like how me and Ranjan met. Ranjan was working with PVR, and he was one of the first guys who decided to release a foreign language film in India. It was L'Enfant, Darden
That is
Brothers.
can winner. I think
mhm.
that was
L'Enfant,
2006.
he actually attempted to release L'Enfant. There was one show in PVR, and he was standing there to see. I was shocked
In
that
a
say,
month.
in India this film is releasing. He was standing there to see how many people come. I was the first one to stand in the line for a ticket.
Yeah,
So
he
that's
was
how we
before
met
as
the
well.
first time. That's how we met. So our relationship has started then when he was trying to release foreign language films in India. And I was so happy I was the first one to go and buy the ticket so that the shows don't get cancelled. Because at that
Yeah.
time, if people didn't turn up, they would cancel shows.
Oh.
So that's where our relationship has actually begun. So, and it's been, I think, almost 20 years now.
Natesh, one last question. I mean, for you, what does Anurag and what does Ranjan bring to the table?
यार ये this is the difficult, ऐसे हम सोचते ही नहीं ना
हम लोग उतना आगे का देखते नहीं है. I can tell
हाँ.
you what Ranjan brings. Ranjan brings the way forward. Ranjan knows what I can do to help better than I do know. So I just go along with what he says. And Natesh says, I think life purpose is to this film has to lead to my next film. And next film has to lead my next film. Natesh is full of lots of ideas and scripts. He's constantly doing that, which is what
So,
is,
so,
I
all
think,
the,
and we should limit to that. Apna.
so he's already on to his next, is it?
He has got so many ideas and scripts. He's done actor meetings. I see. I do is like this. Natesh, I want to meet this actor. I'll make a call. I want to meet this actor.
Mm.
Natesh, like if I do it in Hindi, you are writing dialogue. I'll say yes. It's the same thing I do
Mm.
with people I like, and I like their work and I admire them and I love them both ways. तो हम लोग
Mm.
एक दूसरे को करेंगे, मेरे को उसका जरूरत होगा तो मैं भी उसको बुला लूंगा, और बुलाया भी, मैं अपनी अभी फिल्म किया तो मैं बुलाया, ठीक है, नो क्वेश्चंस आस्क्ड, अरे दिस इज गिवन, रंजन को मैं बोलूंगा रंजन ये फिल्म हम लोग को सपोर्ट करना है, नो क्वेश्चंस आस्क्ड, ही विल से प्रोज एंड कॉन्स ऑफ इट, इसे इसको ऐसे सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, ऐसे नहीं कर सकते, ये कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज रंजन नोज दैट बेटर देन ऑल ऑफ अस एंड हाउ टू टेक दिस फिल्म फॉरवर्ड, व्हाट टू डू, जैसे अभी बर्लिन जा रहे थे, आई एम इन पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन, हाँ, तो आई वाज लाइक लिटरली यार मैं जाऊं नहीं जाऊं, जाऊं नहीं जाऊं, आई वाज लाइक दैट, नट इज लाइक यू हैव टू कम, यू हैव टू कम, एंड देन रंजन वुड से दिस इज व्हाट विल हैपन इफ यू कम, दिस इज व्हाट विल नॉट हैपन इफ यू डोंट कम, ये वो करके मैं चलो आ,
So, yeah, you were saying something which we
Yeah,
all didn't
to
hear.
answer the question is like it's not just about films. With Anurag, it's like we like to hang out. So that is the main mudda.
But
बाकी सब तो कहीं
the film is already been boarded, right? Is that for Europe?
yeah,
loco is the sales,
Sales for which territory?
every territory
everyone.
except
Okay,
India.
okay, okay. And so, what is the plan ahead after Berlin?
That's Ranjan, that question is for
Ranjan
Ranjan.
Boliye.
No, so yeah, like Loco and I think Jeremy is also there. So there will be some plans, some things we'll discuss how to. One, of course,
See,
is
Jeremy
the
Chua's
festival.
experience, life
Yeah.
experience is also for all of us to unlearn from him as well, so
So
And
one, of course, is the
yeah, tell me,
no, no,
sorry, I
no,
interrupted.
no. I just was saying that one, of course, is continue the festival round. But like how the big five are. So Berlin has happened now. So we'll look at how long to continue that, and then of course to this time. I mean, we want to release it. Uh, Unlike sorry Pedro, but this time we'll definitely
no, but
make.
that is my fight. I will get Pedro also released one day.
Of
You
course.
can do it as a double bill
No,
kar
no,
do.
no, फाइट का है वो, लंबा फाइट है, बहुत सारा फाइट है अभी आजकल तो, और एवरी फिल्म इज अ
Mm.
फाइट.
Mm.
So yeah, that's. But yeah, generally, like as in, there's no structured plan as such. We take the film where it goes, deserves to go, and then figure it out. Most of our films have been like that. Like the last 5 films that we released, either E Baleu or Kasturi, we didn't have a structured plan as such. But you take it to the right platform, and then from there something happens. The good thing is with experience, now, okay, there is an opportunity, so you seldom miss those. So that comes in very handy. So I'm sure something definitely will be around the corner.
Good. So, all the best and enjoy Berlin.